Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and we're going to be continuing our character profiles today, looking at Hong Lu from Limbus Company. We're going to be going through all of his egos, all of his identities. He is one of the upper tier list characters in the game for multiple of his identities. So let's go ahead and dig in. Interestingly, for a character that is upper tier list for his identities, his egos are pretty lacking. He only has two, and both of them are free. One he initially comes with, and he does get the Rosette Desire from the Battle Pass for free. The ability that comes with him for his standard ego requires Lust 1, Gloom 5. And coming through here, there's a couple of things that are interesting. I like the Sinking 5. I also like the AoE After Attack Heal 15 SP. And it is a blunt attack, so that's important. Now the passive does heal SP of the ally with the lowest SP, excluding those in panic. So overall, I would say this is a good ego, particularly if you are looking at wanting to heal SP or generate more SP, especially if you're going into like a long-term dungeon. His secondary ego, not the most crazy for. Sanity cost 20, Lust 4, Envy 2. It is Pierce based. And it does inflict defense power down, 19 power, only a 0.65 growth. What I don't like about this when I'm looking at this is most of the time, defense power down is going to help you. This could definitely help you if you're focusing like a boss or a specific enemy, or maybe you're ganging up on, some type of specific monster outside of like standard combat. But most of the time, inflicting this defense power down, I don't know if this is going to make a larger difference in the fight than it would if you actually just used his ability and used another ego. But I do think this is an okay ego. Target of the leftmost skill on the dashboard is infected with fragility or lust fragility next turn. So overall, I'm just kind of, yeah. I'm more focused on the first ego. I like this more, and I do like Sinking as well, and SP is something he tends to focus on. LCB Singer Hong Lu. Now, the reality is you could set any version of Hong Lu, and he's going to be good for you. Whatever it is about the developers of this game, they just fucking love him. Like that's just the reality. He has multiple blunt attacks, slash attacks. He has multiple coin abilities with very high skill power. 4 with 2 coins at +4 and 5 with 2 coins at +4 is very good with a growth of 0.72. Not only that, coin power +2 if user took no damage last turn. He inflicts Sinking, he inflicts Rupture, he inflicts attack power down. Like, this is everything you would want in a character, and he's the 1-star version. His passive heals 6 SP for 3 sloth, and his support ability for 3 sloth. The start of the combat phase, the ally with the lowest SP heals 6 SP. He also comes at 3 to 6 speed, which is relatively good. Now, Kurakumo Wakashu Hong Lu is the version of Hong Lu that I actually use most frequently because I don't have access to Ting Tang Gang Leader. But this version of Hong Lu is similarly rated. He's very high up there in the tier lists, and that's because of his capability to inflict bleed, and it's also the combat start ability here. So primary attack, growth of 0.65, right off the bat, this doesn't look remarkable. Skill power 4. Primary attack is just okay. But once you get into his second and third skills, his second skill, before the attack, if the target has less than 4 bleed, use coin 1 and coin 2 an additional time. That's awesome. Then transition to his third skill at the combat start. The skill applies 1 additional stack of bleed and paralysis. So it's 2 bleed, and 5 paralysis with 3 coins at +2 with skill power of 6. So very good for both of these. His passive, the last coin in the last skill in the chain, inflicts bleed. It only requires lust ×3, so you're going to be able to pull that off really well. And then his support ability, Syndicate Payback, 1 ally with the highest speed inflicts bleed +1. You're going to be pulling that off quite a bit as well. He also comes in at a very high speed himself. 3 to 7, which is very good, and a defense of 34. So he's going to be very, very powerful. He is arguably the most powerful 2-star in the game, you know, in average compositions, I would say. He's good. You're going to want to level him up if you don't have the Ting Tang Gang leader. 3-star Honglu, very important here to point out is that he does have envy, which I always point out because I want to make envy like a composition that is mainly focused on like envy and striking. I can never do it. I never have enough envy users. But his primary ability, or actually just out the gate, just looking here, if you look at his skill power, look at his coins, 1, 3, 1. You're going to have a skill power of 5, 3, and 5. Coin power on ability 3 is plus 25 with only 1 coin. Now this is going to be a little bit important. We'll talk about this in a bit. Primary ability here, the envy ability, is going to be okay. It's just okay. It inflicts 4 bleed. That's good. It has 1 coin, skill power 5, coin power plus 6. That's great. Second ability, Shank. Skill power 3, very low, but a coin power of 5 with 3 coins. It's gonna give increased damage plus 3 on a head's hit. If the target has less than 25% HP, use this coin an additional time if the target survives. On heads, plus 50% damage for this coin. If you reuse it, plus 50% damage for this coin. So he has the potential to get very insane damage. Now, Mutilate, his gluttony ability, on the killing of an opponent, use this skill one more time. Think about that. That is very powerful. On a heads hit, damage plus 7. If you're reusing it and you hit heads, plus 100% damage for this coin. Keep in mind, the coin power is plus 25. So this is very powerful, especially if you're in a situation where you have high sanity and you're going to be able to reliably land that coin flip. This is why he is known as a very powerful damage dealer. His passive heals SP next turn for 3 gluttony. One ally with the highest SP deals plus 20% damage with heads, which is okay. It's not remarkable for a support ability, but speed range of 3 to 6, defense of 34. Overall, you can't go wrong. Any version of Honglu that you set for his identity is going to be great. It's literally just going to come down to what it is you kind of have, what compositions you're building. I would want to make this video longer, but the reality is Honglu is such a good unit. He has so few egos that I have a feeling in the future we're going to get an ego for him, and he's probably going to become even more of a monster. So thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.